Imagine waking up at 3 a.m., rain pounds on your roof, water already kissing your mattress. You scoop your toddler onto the table, grab your mother's dialysis meds, and pray the power holds. Now imagine discovering the billions meant to keep that water out of your barangay were pocketed by officials who've never known a real flood. That's no nightmare. That's the gut-wrenching reality that sparked the loudest street uprising the Philippines has seen since 2022. $545 billion, $9.5 billion, was earmarked for 10,000 flood control projects under President Marcos Jr. But at least 421 of those projects are ghosts, non-existent, or so shoddily built they collapse after the first monsoon. While water keeps rising, 727 bank accounts linked to the scam have been frozen, brimming with stolen cash. Tonight, we follow the water, the money, and the marching feet of Filipinos who've finally had enough. Narrator, off-screen. Let's be blunt. Senate auditors found dikes listed as complete that were, in reality, knee-high piles of broken hollow blocks. River walls, painted fresh hours before inspection, hiding cracks big enough to insert your arm. Public works licenses were rented like condo units to the highest bidder, shutting out honest contractors. The result? Water that should have been redirected instead barrels into 200,000 homes every typhoon season. If that sounds abstract, listen to Nanay Lorna from Marilao, Bulacan. Umuulan ng pera sa Kongreso, bumabaha naman sa amin. Rain of money in Congress, flood water in our kitchen. She spoke, scrubbing mud off a school uniform, eyes bloodshot but voice steady. That's the face of a ghost project. People wiping mud off memories while ghosts laugh in air-conditioned cars. Anti-Money Laundering Council data shows billions funneled into real estate splurges in California, condo flipping in Singapore, even a yacht christened MV Happy. Social media sleuths matched timestamps. While a congressman's son posted champagne showers in Vegas, his father's district in Isabela was chest-deep in brown water. This sheer audacity transformed public annoyance into outright rage. Every new photo of a politician's kid flashing a Richard Mille watch became gasoline. Filipinos already joke our weather report should include isolated pockets of corruption, but this scam hit different. Why? Because it killed kids. A UNICEF report notes drowning is the leading storm-related cause of child death here. Faulty drainage literally tips the balance between a close call and a coffin. The spark? January 15th. The Blue Ribbon hearing revealed $16.7 billion in double-allocated projects, some plotted on maps inside volcanic craters where no flood could ever reach. Within hours, Sialger Protecto Tao trended #1 worldwide. University of the Philippines students walked out of class chanting, "Kung walang korap, walang baha. No corruption, no flood." By sunset, protests erupted in Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, even among overseas Filipino bar crawlers in Dubai. The demand was unified. Arrest the principals, freeze every questionable peso, and rebuild infrastructure with citizen oversight. No fringe ideology, just pure self-preservation spiced with decency. If you passed Mendiola last month, you saw toddlers atop parents' shoulders, grandmothers waving rolled-up pandesal like protest placards, and a river of students in raincoats. One placard read, BBM, Bigas Bahay, Malikaing Buhay, Hindi Bahay-Bahayan ng Buhay-Buhay na Buwaya. Translation: rice, homes, creative livelihood, not an aquarium for live crocodiles. The joke lands because everyone here knows a crocodile isn't just a reptile, it's a politician who eats taxes. The average age on that march? 23. Many were first-time voters, feeling betrayed. They campaigned for unity, yet found themselves wading through sewage. Their presence terrifies traditional power blocks. Dynasties can buy trapos, but they can't buy TikTok credibility. Every live stream earns new eyeballs. Every share recruits another Lola carrying her Apo to the rally. Not all demonstrations stayed serene. On February 4th, riot police blocked Liwasang Bonifacio with container vans and razor wire. Videos show a 19-year-old student leader shoved so hard his head hit the pavement. He still managed to yell, "Sino ang terorista? Yung nagnakaw or yung nananawagan?" Who's the terrorist? The thief or the one demanding justice? That clip now has 4.3 million views. Authorities defend their show of force, citing intelligence reports of infiltrator plans to torch government buildings. Protesters retort that the only thing burning is taxpayers' patience. The tension keeps ratcheting because court subpoenas move at horse-cart speed, while floodwaters ride express. The street manifesto? Short enough to tweet. 1. File plunder raps against every official who signed off on ghost projects. 2. Create a permanent civilian audit board with veto power over future flood budgets. 3. Reallocate rescued stolen funds to quick-dry housing and climate-resilient infrastructure. 4. Pass the Freedom of Information Bill, stripped of loopholes. 5. Guarantee no political comeback for those convicted. No pardon, no daughter as surrogate maneuver. 5 points, but the subtext is singular. Treat public office as public trust, not a private purse. Malacanang's response so far? Former House Speaker Martin Romualdez resigned. The president vetoed P16.7 billion in dubious projects. An independent commission was formed to get to the bottom of things. Skeptics note its budget is tucked under the office of the president, raising fears it could be throttled by executive privilege. Meanwhile, 5 senators linked to the scam still sit on the Blue Ribbon Committee, investigating, well, themselves. Comedy writers couldn't invent a tighter farce. Yet every press conference is met with real-time fact-check threads by young accountants who learned auditing on YouTube. The era when Trapos controlled the narrative is, if not over, wobbling on quicksand. The diaspora? They're weaponizing remittances. A Filipino credit union in Milan announced it will pause donations to any politician's pet project until fraud cases reach court. In Toronto, jeepney-themed protest floats collected signatures for a Canadian Magnitsky-style petition, targeting officials who stash loot in Vancouver condos. Even Manila's call center agents moonlight as crowdfunders, routing voice account salaries to supply protest kitchens that dish out 500 bowls of arroz caldo per hour. The message abroad is identical to the chant at home. Our floods may be local, but your accountability should be global. If this story makes your blood boil colder than a wet season downpour, hit that like button so the algorithm treats this video like a life raft. Visible. Comment "Tama na" if you believe enough is enough. And tag your congressman so they can't pretend they didn't hear you over the sound of rain. Maybe you live on the 35th floor in BGC and think floods are just a province problem. But remember, the peso you spend on overpriced coffee funds, the tax collected from you, that tax builds dikes that either exist or don't. Corruption isn't charity for politicians. It's theft from your future convenience, your child's safety, your own commute. Plus, climate change is a force multiplier. Rainfall volume has risen 12% since 2000. Every ghost project means the water has to go somewhere, and gravity doesn't check property class. In short, flood fraud is everybody's problem, wearing another's name. Picture this: a commission on audit dashboard online where every infrastructure project flashes GPS coordinates, budget, contractor name, and real-time photos. Citizens swipe right if the site looks legit, left if it looks ghostly. Tinder for transparency. Imagine lawmakers afraid to insert pork because they know 50,000 phones will ping the anomaly before lunch. Envision floodwater finally diverted by working spillways, while classrooms no longer double as evacuation centers. That utopia is distant but reachable. The first step: keep the heat on until stolen money is back in the treasury and the guilty wear orange. Share this video to your group chat, especially that one Tito who keeps forwarding fake news. Let's make truth as viral as gossip. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit that bell so you won't miss our next episode tracking where those frozen billions travel. The Philippines has 2 kinds of weather, wet and wetter. Yet the choice between resilience and ruin shouldn't hinge on a contractor renting a congressman's signature. The protesters flooding the streets know justice's arc is shorter than a poorly built bridge. They march because the risk of staying silent now feels greater than facing a water cannon. They chant because their lungs still work, and because some neighbors no longer have lungs at all. If enough of us amplify that chant, online, overseas, in the privacy of a polling booth, we can turn the tide that for decades has turned against us. Until then, every drop of rain is a question mark, every stolen peso an exclamation point. Filipinos are done treading water. They're ready to walk on it, straight toward the thieves who forgot. When you steal from a people taught to endure storms, you aren't just taking money, You're taking away the only roof they have left above their hopes. See you in court, in the comments, or in the streets, because the next flood is already forming in the clouds, and the next election is only a sunrise away.